Hey everybody, Michael Snyder here, California Weather Watch. Today is July 22nd. Right now we're looking at the visible satellite imagery. You can see the marine layer kind of hit and miss on the northern half of California, Bay Area south, well entrenched along the immediate coastline here. Some of this will be burning off during the afternoon hours. As always, across Arizona, some of southeast California, you can see that monsoon moisture try to make its way around this ridge. So this big ridge, the heat dome that's been dominating the weather here across much of the southwest, it's going to try to slide off to the east a bit. And there is clockwise rotation around this high pressure that tries to bring some moisture on its western periphery back into the area here. Going to get an uptick in some storms, especially across places like Arizona, and some of that moisture could even move in towards California and Nevada as well. We'll take a look at those details coming up here in a moment. This is looking at San Francisco. I showed this yesterday. Look at the inversion at the surface due to the Pacific Ocean here. An inversion is when you've got warm temperatures aloft and much cooler at the surface there. So look at these temperatures at about 2,500 feet. They're very warm. And if we scroll through here, you can see as we go through the afternoon hours, we do warm up at the surface, even along the coastline a bit, but still not as warm as it is aloft. And you can really feel that if you go on the higher hills away from the immediate coastline as well. And this is looking at San Francisco again, the inversion. You can clearly see at the cooler temperatures at the surface versus the warmer temperatures aloft. 925 millibars is somewhere up towards 2,500 feet. 850 is 5,000. The top of this diagram here is about 10,000 feet here. So you can see we do start to tail off these warm temperatures aloft. And we are going to bring some relief here across some of the region here with as we go on further into the future. This will be Sunday morning there. This is Monday morning here and Tuesday morning here. So more on that here in a moment. This day in Southern Cal weather history, check it out once the monsoon gets going. You can get some crazy stuff going on here. Check it out. Lightning strikes sparked 24 fires in the San Bernardino Mountains there. Strong thunderstorms snapped off telephone poles near Barstow. Debris flows can go on. You get some flooding out in the deserts. Lots of monsoon moisture back in 1997 as well. So interesting stuff here from the National Weather Service San Diego. This is Phoenix National Weather Service. Check out Saturday, 22%. Sunday, getting up towards 40% here. And some of these storms could be strong or even some severe as these wind gusts here could be rolling across the area. And this is another good graphic from the National Weather Service Phoenix. Kind of shows where the severe winds could encroach into the Phoenix metro here. So heads up for that. And you can see patchy blowing dust, localized flooding. And the higher terrain, of course, is usually favored for those stronger winds. And you can see mainly 2 to 4 p.m. Mountain Standard Time outflow boundaries associated with those strong thunderstorms. This is blowing dust safety. This is what the National Weather Service says to do. Pull all the way off the road, turn off your lights, take your foot off the brakes, and wait until conditions improve. Now, here we are looking at National Weather Service Sacramento. Look at Redding, Chico, Sacramento. Another very warm day, downright hot day today again. But there is some relief coming here, and we'll look at that here in a moment. But you can see San Francisco, Eureka. If you want that relief, get out to the immediate coastline here. But you don't have to go that far inland or up on some of these hilltops to really get those increased temperatures. This is looking at Hanford, California. You can see you've got major and extreme heat risk across some of the area, including the I-5 corridor here as well. So yeah, take caution there. You guys know the drill, how to beat the heat. Just have a heads up. This is looking at something interesting here. National Weather Service Las Vegas, they measured some of these surface temperatures out there. So just remember, if you're out walking your pets out there, if you're out there yourself, how just downright hot some of these surfaces can get. This is looking at Death Valley yesterday, 124, the high temperature for the entire nation. Death Valley here, and you can see a couple areas almost got down to freezing there in Idaho and Utah, Peter Sinks, Utah. This is looking at the heat advisory area. This is for Reno. Check it out. These high temperatures across western Nevada there. You know, watch out for the heat illnesses. And this is 11 a.m. to 9 p.m. for western Nevada, that heat advisory existing. This is the downward temperature trend. This is Hanford, California. Check out Bakersfield. Dropping down a little bit here as we go Monday through Tuesday. We'll take anything we can get. Try to reduce this heat to some extent. You can see Death Valley still, though, pushing 120. And here we go, pattern change ahead. This is a good diagram here because it shows the ridge and the clockwise rotation around it. And then that moisture, that monsoon moisture, tries to make its way back up into the region here. So that's what we're watching here over the next few days. Nice stuff here from the National Weather Service Las Vegas. Now, here is that ridge. This is as of last night. And you can kind of see it just slowly drifting off to the east here. And that allows that monsoon moisture to try to get back up into the region. Big trough rolling through the Pacific Northwest. Decent frontal system for them. Kind of chops away at this ridge a little bit here. and not much relief. But some of this tries to make its way into Northern California here as well as we go on in through Thursday night, which would be shown about here. And you notice that ridge is weakened a bit here, but still quite strong across some of southeast Arizona there. And this ridge has kind of been dominating. It's been setting records for just how strong it is as well. So this is looking at the European. This is last night's run all the way up through hour 144. You can see some of the return of this moisture even up across the Sierra Nevada. It's not showing a lot for the southern and southeastern California here, but it is showing some. And you can see the higher terrain here getting some precip, southern Arizona here as well. We'll look at the GFS here in a moment. But I wanted to show you guys the HRRR, the high resolution rapid refresh. This is the Los Angeles Metro here. As we scroll through the afternoon hours, you can see just how quickly these temperatures rise as you get away from the coastline here. So look, if you get out to the coast, you can stay in the upper 60s in some cases, upper 70s, much different. Big temperature contrast here. I mean, look at this. You're talking about 105 plus, 110. Once you get in the desert areas, 115 plus as well. So kind of interesting look at things here on the high resolution models. You can see we go to the overnight hours into Sunday morning, and then the heat up coming on in through Sunday. Look at that. You don't have to go too far inland to get 110 plus. This is San Francisco here. Same thing. The HRRR, the high resolution rapid refresh. So get some of the hilltops around the Bay Area getting nice and toasty here. And if you drop down onto the coastline, you're down into the 60s here. So pretty impressive temperature gradient. Nice microclimate shown here across California with the relatively cool, even for this time of year, below average temperatures there across the Pacific Ocean. This is looking up towards Northern California, and you'll clearly see this contrast again. I mean, you're looking at Eureka getting only into the lower 60s here versus Redding, almost, 50 degrees hotter there. Just impressive temperature gradient there. Now, looking at day one excessive rainfall outlook with those monsoon storms across some Arizona here. This would be today, Saturday. This is tomorrow. It even starts to creep up towards Las Vegas here a little bit here. And then as we go on in through day three, again, Arizona kind of targeted there with some marginal risk. This is looking at GFS. So we're going to go way out into the future here. This is total precipitation in inches. And here we go through Saturday afternoon. You can see some of that activity across Arizona here. And we go on through Sunday. Maybe a little bit across southeast, California here. Maybe that'll creep in there. You can see a little bit of precip moving towards Las Vegas here as you go through Sunday night and Monday morning, Monday afternoon. Again, a bit more to that. Now we're going to scroll way out here, and we're going to let this play out and see if we have any signs of some real life coming to the monsoon after that. You got to go 200 hours out plus. So you can see some decent totals popping up there and 250 plus. So that's kind of just way out into fantasy land as of right now, but just something to watch. Maybe we'll start to get some monsoon moisture as we move into early August all the way up through California and Nevada. Take that with a grain of salt right now, purely fantasy, but we do have a nice uptick coming here for the next couple of days. And this is day one, kind of showing where those wind gusts may occur and the thunderstorm activity possibly up in towards Nevada. This is day two. Could include some of the deserts of southeast California. And again, that potential there for some gusty outflow winds with those strong storms across southern Arizona. 6 to 10 day precipitation probability outlook. We've been doing this, and they kind of keep continuing to show that here, Him and Han on that. An 8 to 14 day. And again, I don't know about this. We'll see how this trends here over the next few days. Take it as a fantasy forecast for now. This is 6 to 10 day temperature probability outlook dropping back down towards normal, which is still pretty warm here for some of the valley areas. But you can see that ridge and its effects trying to push off to the east a bit here, more over New Mexico, but still some pretty high odds across places like Arizona and southeast California. 8 to 14 day, much of the region still included an above average temperature potential here. And this is so far July. This goes through July 21st. Do we have an update there? No, we don't. Actually, no, that would be the update. So you can see kind of across the plains below average, but a lot of the west now above average, including Arizona, New Mexico, significantly so, actually. The anomaly is pretty high across Arizona, New Mexico, and some places of California, and we've brought these temperatures up quite dramatically, and a lot of the west has been quite warm as well as the northeast here, but you can see that below average temperature across a lot of the plains there also. And this is so far this year through July 21st here. Just above average here for the lower 48 so far this year. And you can see the big yin and yang exists here between the cooler than normal conditions here across the west and the east. We'll see how that continues to trend as we go day by day. This is risk of hazardous temperatures all the way in through early August. And you can see this across Texas, Oklahoma out there. But at least this is kind of pushing off these, helps bring things down maybe a little bit here. But anything above average this time of year across California and Arizona is still downright pretty hot. And this is looking at the snow water equivalent, still at what, 0.4 of an inch there. So we have melted a lot of that at the recording stations there, but still some of the higher country still has some nice snowfall amounts across the Sierra Nevada up there. This is looking at fire danger here. The L means, if you click on it there, you can see dry lightning. So you could get some dry lightning strikes here. Not a lot of precip associated with some of these storms, especially as they move off further off to the northwest here in portions of Nevada here as well. Could start some fires also. But for the most part, low risk in all these yellow areas here. So, yeah. It's not bad. We'll take it. It's definitely better than it has been in past years. And if you missed this was issued a couple days ago. Seasonal temperature outlook. Much of the West as we go through August, September, and October above average, including Arizona and New Mexico into Utah here as well. And this is August, September, October, kind of that suppression of that precipitation showing up here across a lot of Arizona. But yeah. Interesting inversion along the coastline. We just don't have that offshore setup. Once you get the offshore winds here, you can really warm up the coastal areas too. And that's when you bring the coastal heat waves. Right now, we just don't have that. And it's pretty typical for early summer periods here across much of the Southwest here. But once you start bringing those offshore winds, you can warm up the entire state. Doesn't matter where you are at that point. So we'll watch for that on through the extended. Usually happens later on in the summertime. We'll continue to watch this monsoon moisture as it moves around that high and see just how much, and see if we can, we'll try to get some consistency in some of the runs here as we go through the extended forecast. But anyway, hope you guys are liking these videos. Click like and subscribe. We'll do this again tomorrow, and I will talk to you guys then.